Have you seen where she was asked overtly, is that man worth it? And she says, yes. She said, yes, Tim is worth all of this. As you recuperate.
How could he be? Okay, Kenny, you give the backstory.
So what we were saying actually before we started is that there's a lot on the TikTok streets these days in way of messy relationships or messy ways in which people move. We're talking about Brenay, Tim, also for future reference, because I was recently introduced to the Danish Deception, a 25-part series on TikTok, which I'm undoubtedly making a video on soon because I have so many thoughts. And I'm introducing Olay to, so let me know any updates along the way if you end up having any thoughts or opinion about the Danish Deception. But in the meantime, today we're talking about Brenay. I think she has a YouTube channel too, but primarily a TikToker with give or take 3 million followers, who did a lot and was essentially so, a very whittled down description is she was so envious of this woman that she tried to superimpose her life onto herself and ended up getting hit with a nearly $2 million alienation of affection charge. And it goes to show that no dick is worth $2 million. Amen. Let's cry.
No, it really is a cautionary tale about don't try to steal people's mind because you might end up with them. Like, look at the consequences.
You may get exactly what you wanted, and that's not a good thing.
It's so crazy because I hate when somebody is so morally in the wrong and people dislike them so much that I can't make the arguments in their defense that I want to make. Because I'd be like, every time. Okay, first, let me give my one leftist good opinion that I made, my leftist progressive on the side of women opinion that I'm going to give for Brenay. I'm going to give y'all all my defenses of Brenay up front because I got to drag her for the rest of it.
I mean, there are certain things that we could talk about as far as like, as a black woman, as a fat black woman.
There's so much to discuss. So I want to start by saying, first of all, it's crazy. Like, this lawsuit in and of itself is the like legal manifestation of being mad at the woman. like when you like legally holding somebody, like, hear me good. Put a Brenay aside. Legally holding someone else outside of your spouse responsible for destroying your marriage is crazy. Like, having this man come up there and he's a piece of shit who obviously does not love or give a fuck about you. He testified that he never loved or gave a fuck about you. So how could you, with good reason, see a man hear a man like that, see a man like this and think, yes, this gal is the reason. He wasn't shit before that. That's one. And then two, Brenay played her fucking self by what I cannot. It's 3 layered, because on the first layer is Brenay is the gal walking around lying, and these people lying to the public, telling them she's a millionaire. I don't know why she lied, but that woman don't have no $1 million. Having 1 million followers.
She told people she got $1 million.
Yeah, I saw a video when I was like doing my little research, wanting to defend in my chest. I saw a video. She was in the shower like, what's it like to be like a 20-some-year-old millionaire? I said, oh, you, that's why she came with these kind of dollar amounts. But it's like, she obviously doesn't have any fucking money, which is why she represented herself. She went up like everything about. I saw her shopping at Goodwill several days ago on TikTok. Like, this girl don't have no money. That's why she represented herself. And the gag is, if she had just represented herself, taking it seriously, XYZ. There's no way, because she's held liable for $1.75 million. They didn't lose. Akira ain't lose. That man does not have the capacity in any way to have ever caused no amount of therapy. Like, what are the damages? Typically in court, if something was a serious production, you got to show damages. Where did $1.75 million, was that lost by the loss of Tim? No, it was not. No, it was not. This man ain't shit. Like, look what I'm seeing, and I'm like, oh, this part. So that's the first day. That's my one. Like,
can they ask for? Well, I guess they can ask for whatever they want. But is it likely to get that high just from sheer like pain and suffering or whatever?
No, because even like pain and suffering damages usually have to like be shown. Like, oh, you went to therapy. How much did it cost you? Did you lose? Were you out of work because of this? Because of that? It's still usually that number gotta be like associated with something. But because I'm telling you, when the court does not like people walking up in their pro se thinking this a game. Like, inherently it offends the place. Like, and like, girl, you're not likable.
And you know somebody said, don't do that. You know,
and they don't like the social media antics too, like the social media stuff, the showing your ass, all that different stuff. Like, that was a personal, we don't like this bitch. Like, we don't like her. Like, but that's my one first thing I would say for. And then two, my best friend, as y'all know, I have huge boobs. I am of the huge boobs committee. Like, I'm very aware. And my best friend Nia, boobs even bigger than mine. And Nia and I was with Nia last week, and she's we should be looking at videos of people talking about Brenay, laughing at Brenay, cracking those blade. And Nia was dying at them saying there was a video of Brenay where she was in the car, like she and you know our gal boob set up. She's in the car, and she was like, oh. She was saying that Tim was behind her. She's like, oh, y'all see Tim, but like no one, you couldn't see nobody. And the girl who's making the video about it was like, girl, damn well ain't nobody see nothing but you and them big jugglers in the camera. And my best friend Nia was dying, and I was just like, bitch, if they call it her jugglers, this was like, I was like, she's just a more extreme version of the same spectrum. But I was like, I get every time I see somebody talking about this gal breast or blah 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 blah, I'm like, I hate that she's so fucking horrible as a person.
So
like, you
unlikable.
can't even be mad at why people feel so much like venom towards her and all this. And the next thing, she showed her ass. This is horrible. This is more
She's showing her ass.
I can't defend as a person, but I will say, cheat every day. People cheat every day. Cheat every day. Like the level of venom and hatred for this particular gal, but also like how people keep like. They love, and I get it, Akira is the victim in this scenario, but the way they like to put this girl, they like to use the worst pictures of Brenay they can or stills and put it next to this light-skinned gal like, oh, look, oh, Akira. Like, it feels like there's a lot to the offense that it's this gal. Like, it's like people personally offended that this gal, that they think big and think this or whatever, is not desirable enough to teach nobody man. Now, that being said.
First of all,
I said, that being said, she is a piece of shit.
She is a piece of shit. But the things that I do get frustrated about the like, one of the things that because me and Foreign talked about it, and one of the things we were talking about is like the anti-blackness, and people feel safe to be anti-black to her because she's a piece of shit. Like,
that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And they feel comfortable. They're like, oh, I feel like I have a socially acceptable place to be anti-black and be anti, misogynoir and all that shit because she wears the gaudy nails or because she has the lashes and whatever. And that seems to be like, oh, finally, a person who is morally reprehensible that I can
I could say all these like.
Yeah. Also, she got face. The face card is good. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
She is a beautiful gal, girl. And nobody will tell me she's not a beautiful guy. When I saw a twin, I was like, these are beautiful girls.
Two beautiful girls. That's not.
Now, may they be morally bankrupt?
Absolutely.
The jury says yes.
Are they messy? Would I want to be friends? Absolutely not. But we're not going to sit here. But people over here,
absolutely not. Like,
people talking about
she's morally bankrupt in a crazy way.
And uses God as great face, good bone structure.
And if she didn't fuck nobody husband who she was friends with, I be talking about how subversive it is that big titty bitch refuses to put on a bra. I'm like, oh, I hate that y'all dragging her for what I think is revolutionary.
I think it's like, my thing is, I don't wear a bra either, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like just because I have a smaller chest, which is small in comparison
to Brenay, but not small in comparison to the regular streets.
Probably not to. I'm in between sizes right now, somewhere between D double D. But yes. Like, I don't want to wear no bra either, and I haven't since 2020. Basically, that's what broke the chains for me. I said, I'm inside. The fuck am I wearing a bra for? And now I'm outside. The fuck am I wearing a bra for? The world didn't change because I suddenly didn't put a goddamn bra on. My issue though with Brenay is that she's a bad person, and she uses Christ in particular to justify being a bad person that you can't judge because she can only be judged by Christ, and I can do terrible things, and as long as I don't curse, apparently
like, only God can judge me. And I like, that's not true. I have free will, and I can, and I'm judging.
I have eyes. I can see you, and I can put two and two together that you asshole. I can make the judgment. I can reach the conclusion that you a piece of shit.
No, she 1000% is a piece of shit. And all of this, by the way, all of this is her own doing of wanting to put all your business on the internet, because I don't even understand why the internet knows these things. Like, all these, I'm like,
the thing that blows me out the water about people like Brenay is that they get mad that people are in your business when we would not know your business if you hadn't brought it to me. I didn't know who she was.
And keep giving it to them. And I'm like, why you keep showing them this mind? Why you talking about this mind? Why were you doing? No, Brenay is like, I will say, as I get older, I've always couldn't stand. I've never liked the fucking people having affairs, people cheating on their spouses. Yeah. I think like it's one thing. I think there are levels of cheating, and I'm against them all. But cheating on your spouse, right? Like cheating on your spouse and betraying your friend, your best friend, are top tier felonies in my book. Like, I don't.
And somehow did both at the same time.
Did all, and then added a side of disrespect. Like, you know what she reminds me of? Yo, I represented my first ever like win as a like case was this old black woman who was like was like drinking and driving. So she's drinking and driving. She hits some people's car, jumps out the car, and cusses them out and spits on them and drives away. That to me is what Brenay like this is. It's like, you were wrong from the beginning.
Wait, you won the case?
And I did. And I did.
Hey, nobody like a lawyer till you need one. And
right, they're gonna be, oh my god, I mean, you shut up, okay? Okay, because I remember too, like I got that dismissed on emotion, and I remember like going to my bitch ass supervisors, this old, I hate it with my the worst person I've ever met was this old black lady that was my supervisor when I was a public defender. And I went to her like I just started a job. She was an old hating bitch from the damn matter. Like, I was so excited to have a black woman supervisor. Like, oh my God. And then the other black ladies at the job was like, trust me. Her. Like, warn me. And I was like, no, man. Thinking that they like being unfair, like a black woman. The worst person ever. Like, she was like, really, like, she's one of them women be stinking to you as a young black woman, young black man. She want to have a low cup talk, so she mad about me who 25 and my titties. I'm telling you, this woman I had a turtleneck on one day when this woman going to go school, talk about my breast unprovoked when I wanted to ask her about, she was a bitch from hell. Every which kind of way she could have been a piece of shit to me, but I won't even get started. But this was one of them early times. I went to our office like, hey, like, you know, do you think I have an idea like to like file this kind of motion? I think this is da, 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 that's what the legal argument I have. And she was like, do you want to know what I think, lie me? Well, why, yes. Bitch, that's why I came in here and I asked for your advice. She's like, I think you need to learn the worth of a case. You need to call that client and tell him to take that plea and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. I'm gonna go figure that shit out myself. And yes, I did get that case dismissed. But that kind of horrible, like, that's why you need a real lawyer, Brenay. Like, you see, Brenay, what I'm saying? You can be a piece of guilty shit in court.
If you got a good lawyer, that is their job to enthusiastically defend you
and sit your ass quietly and pleasantly. But girl,
shut the fuck up. So
no,
I realized that some people may have clicked on this and have no idea what's going on. So as a very, very quick rundown, Brenay, again, is a YouTuber with give or take 3 million followers. She has other pages, but that seems to be her primary one. And prior to all of this, she was known largely for lifestyle stuff. She has very large breasts. So if you're like scrolling, you kind of go back, like, what the fuck is, like, it's, it catches attention. She has also junk nails, really long duckbill nails. I've always said, not my style, but I appreciate the artistry because that shit's hard to do.
I hate duck nails.
I think they're ugly. I think they're hideous. I think the shape is hideous, but
so ugly. Baby Tate is the first one who started like wearing those to me for real. Like Baby Tate mainstreamed them in my mind, and I was like, "Girl, I love you. I hate these nails.
These nails are hideous." But because there's the duck, and now they do the flare, which is new to me. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's horrible.
Like, it's not the loop anymore in the middle. It's just straight across. Yeah. It's ugly.
Horrible.
But anyway, regardless. So, and she did like, go shopping with me, get ready with me. She did mukbang here and there. And she would do videos with her husband, which is a man named, like he died. Which is a man named Devin. And he was kind of shy and not really interested in being in content. Devin had a cousin named Tim. Tim was married, had kids with a woman named Akira. Brenay started fucking Tim. So they were all friends. They were all cool. She started fucking Tim, who is...
she's a girl best friend.
Girl best friend. So she's fucking her best friend's husband, and that husband is her husband's cousin. So also the man that she's now fucking also fucked her twin sister and may possibly be the father of at least one of her children, because I saw that baby. That baby looked like his. That baby looked like it's his.
But like, so it's just like, I'm like,
all of this comes to light on TikTok because Brenay talked too fucking much. And so after mentally tormenting this woman, Akira decides to file a lawsuit, which allows them in their particular state, they're in North Carolina, to sue for alienation of affection, which, again, going back to what we were talking about, it's literally a law to sue the affair partner. So you can't sue your spouse for some reason, I guess. Can you sue for adultery? I'm sure some cases technically you can, but people don't tend to do it. But it allows her to sue Brenay, and Brenay was an asshole the entire time leading up to this lawsuit, which has been like almost over a year coming, right? We've known about this lawsuit. She said, "I'm suing you, bitch." And she basically was nearly held in contempt for just not giving financial information over, probably because she is not a millionaire.
Why she didn't give that woman back her husband?
Well, she got him now.
The minute that lawsuit dropped, the minute that happened, and I even realized, like, oh, this is a thing for true, I'd have said, all right.
So
I'd have seen him differently. And nigga that cost me that kind of, like, even theoretically costing me that kind of money, it'd make me hate him.
Have you seen where she was asked overtly, was that man worth it? And she says, yes. She said, yes, Tim is worth all of this. So, as you recuperate, from the man that also may be the father of her sister's children, is the man that is worth it, as he cheats on his wife and has cheated on her with other people as well outside of
That's
YouTube.
my thing. Again, this is why I'm saying, listen, like, bless her heart, bless Akira's heart. But this lawsuit is some bullshit. It is some bullshit. Like it is. Like, I mean, no, yeah. Like, you're the reason. Like, my husband fell out of love, and I heard them. I heard this actually being said in the court. It's like what the arguments are. Is like, oh, she's legally being held is the reason. Like, that her alienation of affection. Like, she prevented him. Like, created the opportunity for him to fall out of love with her. But like, baby girl, that man don't love you. Like, I mean, like,
let's take it. So again. One of the things as I'm waiting for my video to get edited on this, and one of the things that I brought up in it is essentially this isn't as a non-lawyer, this isn't a walk in the park case. This isn't just a slam dunk. There is something that they would have to prove to say Brenay specifically caused the downfall of your marriage. They'd have to prove, well, one of the issues is that he cheated on her already. He had already cheated with somebody else.
But Brenay dumbass ain't got a real fucking lawyer.
So I'm getting there. So she like, he had cheated on her before. He has a propensity to cheat anyway. I'm sure there's evidence that, oh, I forgot about this for those that don't know. Brenay and Tim had dated before in high school, and they broke up because he had cheated on her with her own twin sister. Now, as an adult, he is still on and off fucking said twin sister, leading up to, that is what is found out through, I guess, discovery. So there's a lot to say that he wasn't a great husband anyway. So how can you blame specifically Brenay? Why not sue the twin sister? Why not sue the other people that he's cheated with?
And it's because this bitch made a fool of her online, period.
And like, it's because, one, you made a fool out of her online. Two, you're the most prominent person. And you keep going around saying you're a millionaire or whatever. And three, because yo dumb ass fired your fucking lawyer, because this is not a slam in a park. She could have, at best, she could have got a lawyer to get rid of some damages by a lot. They could have took a lot off of that. The least they could have did is got that shit down to under 50,000, which would have been very doable.
But her representing herself and insulting like the girl and the people as like you're like, she made it. They gave her that. They hit her with that amount because the court was like, you fucking bitch.
You dumb ass. You a stupid ass. And so but that's the part that gets me more than her defending herself, which does get me. That was my final straw. I was like, you are stupid. Something about finding out, because what happened, let me back up. I had known about this for give or take a year because I'm a nosy bitch. I've known about this story for a hot minute, and I had not made a video on it, and I had not planned to make a video on it because it's very convoluted and dumb. And honestly, there's a part of me that didn't want to bring non-black people into black people foolishness on TikTok because that's what it felt like to me. But
they're such everyday people. Like, they're so everyday people, niggas that just happen to have a following on TikTok. Like, you just happen to know.
The irony of that is that this case is what pushed it over into, I was like, okay, people are writing articles about this now. People like respected news sources are coming to Brenay and her now ex-husband Devin, being like, so what are your thoughts? Like, the tea so hot. The tea so hot that it's news now. So I feel morally neutral about making the video.
Okay now. We can talk about it. Like, enough people are discussing
it was just some obscure mess on TikTok, but now this is news. So
I have my entire family into this. Like, CJ, I was telling CJ, mommy, like, y'all, like, when the lawsuit out.
So now that the lawsuit was out and everything, it felt okay to talk about. But as I was reading, because when she lost, I genuinely didn't think she would lose that much of it. I was like, 1.75, she ain't got no $1.75 million to give to a fucking lawsuit. How the hell did they get it so high? And then I started reading the actual articles during which, and like the videos of recap from the courtroom, because there's not much footage from the courtroom because they only allowed them to do like silent video, and like here and there you would get something out of there, but for the most part there wasn't a whole lot of cameras allowed in. But I was hearing people recount what had happened, and they would say the words, Russet, hush. Brenay's opening argument. They would say the words, Brenay cross-examined Akira. And I said, surely they don't mean...
They mean her attorney.
They must mean her attorney. But everybody kept saying it in that way. And I said, oh, and someone described the opening argument and comparing it to the actual lawyer's opening argument, which it was give or take an hour. Hers was less than 10 minutes saying all of this is lies, foolishness. You can't steal a man that was already stolen, or you can't steal a man that didn't want to be there, which again is a decent argument, but you don't know how to argue because you're not a fucking lawyer. Right. And you said and did so many things that made your case exponentially worse in this time leading up to it. Because again, you're being sued for stealing someone's husband. Probably not the best idea to make a couples channel. Probably not the best idea to film.
Videos. I saw videos like while I was in the house trying to see like if I was an attorney, how I would defend this bitch. I'm telling you, like there was a... I'm like in now. It's like me and my best friend Nia, because I'm like, Nia, this is a big titty bitch like us. Let's try and hear her out. And so Nia, I'm trying to play defense, and Nia is the prosecutor. And as I'm defending Nia, I see a video that's like Tim and Brenay, like, oh, wow, everybody mad. I was like,
and like. It explained so much because I had text the moment I saw that I text Yemi and I was like, they keep saying she defended.
And I was like, no fucking way, Kenny.
And I was like, I'm no lawyer. I like law tube. I pop around, so I know some jargon, but I'm no lawyer. And I'm saying,
and I was like, no way. And then you said it to me. I was like, oh my god, that is what it's saying.
And the bitch defended herself. Upon further, she defended herself.
And her defense was shit like saying to apparently she was like cross-examining Kira, and she was like, okay, so he cheated on you and you're suing me for millions of dollars. Bitch, what? Oh.
Apparently. God, what I would give to be a fucking fly on that wall, bitch.
Oh my God.
Because from what I hear, there were certain moments that were so, like, it's egregious. It's a bad idea in general, but there were certain moments within the court. Well, one, let me also say, she had a lawyer.
And she fired him.
She fired the fucking
money
lawyer.
To pay that man.
She fired the fucking, you can't get a public defender for this? Or is it?
No, for getting sued civilly. Yeah, she being sued civilly. You being sued for stealing people's money. You think you have a constitutional right to a defense? No. Imagine asking this thing for like what? Excuse me. I was exercising my God-given right to fuck this woman husband. Like imagine trying to go get that case represented pro bono. Excuse me. I have a really compelling case. You're really gonna feel my heart after I tell you about this. If you see, I love a man. Okay, we love each other. It's true love. Only a couple of little issues. She had a wife. I had a husband, but don't worry about that. About the evidence, what evidence they have? Oh, TikTok, just all over TikTok? What the fuck? I told this bitch to get out my face.
Oh my God. So that actually explains a lot more, because I was really confused about, like, okay, you must make a few dollars. As I understand it, this is her primary means of income, as far as I'm aware. I don't think she has a job outside of this. So you must sustain yourself at least. So at least get you a cheap little lawyer there, someone who probably not the best lawyer in the world, but at least you got somebody that can read
also too, isn't Akira, they said Akira's mom is a lawyer, right? Like recommend, that was who told her to sue. Akira's mom is a lawyer in the local area with which they live. So what other lawyers, by the way, like what are the odds you think the other lawyers don't know Akira's mama? Like what do you think is the reputation? Yeah.
I
If you
didn't
cheat on my
consider
daughter,
that.
if you take my daughter's husband,
I
ain't
never
nobody in the
considered
tribe.
that.
No one's taking your case, bitch. Like,
I never considered that. That's so fucking funny.
I love that. I'm telling you, that was a local ass whooping. They gave her like a North Carolina. They gave her a Raleigh special, bitch. Like you think they said? Oh, you thought you was just gonna take my and be on TikTok?
That's so funny. Well, okay,
I'm
and so that did explain a lot of the lawyerless behavior that she was doing online. Because I'm like, who is leading you? Because she was on TikTok. She was constantly talking about the case, constantly talking about Akira, constantly talking about their kids. Like she has no children, right? So
right.
she's
So all
talking
these
about
kids are Tim and
their
Akira's girl.
kids. All those kids are Tim and Akira's, and she's talking about them like, oh, that's my baby crying. Oh, that's my this, that, and the other. Girl, yes. Because in the course of doing the everything, Akira filed protection orders against Brenay
On behalf of the children.
on behalf of the children, but she ended up being able to get one for herself too, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, well,
Because
yeah, because Brenay is
because
harassing her online.
yeah, you're harassing me online. And she just didn't give a fuck that those existed. So she came to like the kids' graduation.
I
She came.
seen shit like that. Tim isn't too lucky to have made it out with his life. Like he's
And now
lucky Akira chose to be litigious because where I'm from, he'd have come up missing. Like,
he'd have been on a t-shirt, my friend. There is something crazy about because there is some like particularities and minutia that does make her case even like to raise it up to that degree a little higher. There is a part where, if I'm doing my math correctly, Akira would suffer a miscarriage in the midst of finding out all of this, right?
yeah,
Maybe it was right before she
definitely
found
make
out
a
that.
case look way better.
So what happened? If I'm doing the math correctly, Brenay leaves her home with Devin, claiming that he was abusive, and from what I'm actually understanding, the time frame, I believe it was finding out about her affair with Tim because he found out first, and they were fucking in his house, and he heard them fucking in his house,
So
and
can we
also
talk about that part? Because I seen
yeah.
that. I watched a bunch of videos and everybody talked that and I just kept moving on. And I never got an explanation as to what the circumstances could be that he could let this woman fuck this man in his house repeatedly.
I don't get it either. And how is
How
he?
does that happen? He was like, "Oh, I heard," and you call for a rag. Like, what scenario is there where you can do that and live? Because I don't know about you, but CJ's dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well, so as I understand it, and I don't fully, because again, somebody would be smelling roses underground. But okay, okay. As I understand it, he had known of their past dating in high school or whatever, and they were all trying to be friends. So she's like, I need to squash something with Tim.
Can we like, I don't want to call, like, I don't want to, I don't want to offend the masculinity of her ex-husband. What the fuck are we? Do you think?
Well, it goes.
Can your man tell you? Can any of this? Can your man come tell you he's trying to better develop a friendship with his ex-girlfriend from high school and her? Can he tell you they got something to go squash?
And that is the part that I don't understand. And I don't feel comfortable claiming outright that he wasn't abusive. But y'all are not describing a man
he was abusive, but you could fuck at an in his house.
And he could hear you fuck other
in his house. I feel comfortable. I know she's lying. I know she's a liar.
he can wake up in the middle of the night hearing y'all ponder over if y'all could get back together. And
he's honestly probably by legal definition a pussy. Like if he took this to go, like that's like.
And
like,
so what's interesting about that's another component of this story that I find very fascinating because there's a lot of focus on Brenay because she is the woman, she is the friend, she is the public figure, right? But Tim is a piece of shit, so he is getting less ire than I think He's getting as much ire as I would expect because he's not a public figure, but
But he
also
deserves more of the smoke that's being
he
given to
does
Brenay.
deserve. But one of the things in his like in the few times that I've heard him specifically speak in reference to Devin, there is a live stream. Did I ever send it to you? There is a live stream where Brenay, Tim, and Devin come on. And it's hosted by one of the people that have been following the case as it's going on.
Tell me more. I never seen it.
Okay, so check it. That's when I knew something was lawyerless. Like, where is your lawyer? Like, what is happening? So Devin comes on and he's like answering questions that are kind of vague. He doesn't have an ongoing. Well, no, he's suing Devin too, but that was put on hold.
Suing Tim.
Oh yeah, he's suing Tim.
Yeah.
Devin is suing Tim. But as I heard, that case was on hold. I don't know since the judgment has come down what's going on with that. But regardless, he had come on there to speak with one of the people that had been following the case. And Brenay and Tim got so irate that he was saying anything about it that they got on the stream too, and they wanted to defend themselves. Their defense was, as I understand it, you were cool with it after finding out that we had cheated. You said, okay, then maybe that's the love of your life or whatever. And Tim's thing was, as you may have seen, Devin has lost a lot of weight, and he seems to work out. Now. He's a lot smaller now.
I've seen several videos of him calling Brenay fat, and she needs to stop eating. All she's do is eat, and I'm just like,
don't do that.
You see what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
Like,
you see what I mean? See, because she's so
like,
terrible.
Call her a cheating, trifling, morally bankrupt bitch. I don't even mind. You could say bitch. I'm okay with that.
Because I feel like that's the most accurate word. But
right. But why are you talking about her weight and shit and like playing into that? You used to be married to her. You liked her weight. You liked her. You was into all of that.
You were so cool
now
you here.
Now you slim and now.
But what's interesting, and that was one of their complaints too, and I think that's a valid complaint, not in the grand scheme of your lawsuit, because you still lose that shit regardless. But as far as like the way that people talk about it, talking about her being fat and eating a bunch of Chipotle isn't. Now I want Chipotle. But I've been craving Catfish, and it's nom. I'll figure it out. But
I've been craving Catfish.
It's like I can feel it. Like you can almost.
That's the most Bayou type thing you've ever said to me.
My boyfriend get mad because my accent comes out like every once in a while, and he'll be like, "Oh, do it. That's so sexy." And I'm like, "I don't know how to do it on demand. It's a subconscious
Catfish. I've never heard such a thing."
Like some catfish. They ran out of collards, and I did Friendsgiving, so I made kale, and I thought this was sacrilegious, but it busts. Don't undermine it. It was fire. Anyway, I might just buy a piece by itself. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that they get on this live stream, and the complaints they have, or the insult they have for Devin, is around his weight loss. Now you think you big and bad because you lost weight. But a lot of it also is you were soft.
Yeah.
We've always known you to be soft. And now you think you're big and bad.
Now.
Yeah, how dare you be, how dare you do this?
So you let us fuck in your house, so why are you telling people you on the
internet?
Why you telling people that? On this
like, we were able to fuck you up, run you over with a car before, and now you want to say something about it because you lost a little weight. Like
it is crazy though to let some fuck in your house, cheat on you, you walking like CJ can't. I can't even understand any scenario where like
why would you feel so bold to do that?
That's why. And and also back to the abuse claims. There's no way on earth. I'm sorry. I'm prepared to believe a lot of things or give Brenay a lot of blie, but you're not going to convince me that a man was abusing you that you felt comfortable fucking cheating on him in his home with and fucking another. There's just no way. There's no way. You honestly, by saying that, you tell me you've never even met an abusive. Actually,
Yeah,
you've actually because what?
Like,
because sane, wonderful people would kill you for that.
Same.
And it would be considered heat of passion, well justified. Cheating on, I want you to know, one of the oldest getting away with murder in America is cheating in people's house and them seeing, because they say they lost their senses, like seeing something like that or whatever. So
I had to beat your ass. Like I
had no choice.
I had temporary insanity. I had to beat your ass.
I had to. Like, what else could I do?
So
like,
apparently, though, they had maybe it had gotten too much for Devin, and she said he had bucked up against her. And I'm like, I'm surprised just now. He ain't say nothing until now. And so she leaves and goes to stay at Akira's house.
You know how egregious that is? And also, Akira, this is another thing. Akira. She
wasn't cool with it, though. So she say.
How could a bitch stay in my house if I ain't cool with it?
Because she's claiming she's being abused. So she was like,
Akira was abused by Tim.
No. Brenay is claiming she's being abused by Devin. And
that
she's
like, nothing to do with the price of tea in China.
She was like, I can't go to my family. I can't go to my family.
You can't go to your family, so you have to be in the house with my husband.
Well, she didn't know they dated before. This is just her friend that's going through abuse issues and nowhere to go.
So, she thinks it's her friend, like they didn't. How did they originally become friends as a friend group? Because that's like, how did Akira and Brenay become friends? Because I guess I don't make the difference.
Well, Tim is Devin's cousin. They're friends. So I guess by proxy, if they're hanging out, she's meeting Devin's wife, doesn't know that they were all doesn't know that Tim ever had a romantic relationship in any way, regardless of how young they were.
Okay. Well, so in that case, then yeah, poor Akira. Yeah. My girl trying
she's
to be
like,
a good
my
person.
friend is in an abusive relationship. And she's coming here because she has nowhere else to go. And though I am uncomfortable with it, because, I'm bringing, because they're also very conservative in the Christian. They're like, bringing another woman in the house. I'm uncomfortable with that. But also, your man is a cheater and has been proven to be a cheater. So I get why that would also be uncomfortable. But alas, they let her stay.
My thing is, can't no gal I meet since I've been married be a no smell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, if this is my real day one bitches, for sure, or bitches I trust. But I guess, like, poor Akira, there's nothing she could do about that. Like, she trying to cheat. Like, what are you gonna do? Feel like you don't care about this woman and being abused? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like, also, like, you can't smell something on certain women, like some, and you know what I mean? Like, like smell that you can't trust them. Because I feel like you was no. Like, I feel like I know.
There's something also about, again, the way that she, I don't know, because
deceitful. She's deceitful.
Because like prior to this, the only deceit that people knew about Brenay is her lying about getting a breast reduction and taking she did a GoFundMe for breast reduction. That was the whole
original story, right? It was that she raised a bunch of money for a breast reduction and didn't do it.
And then didn't do it. But
how much money did she raise for the reduction, and why didn't she do it?
I've seen several figures about that. One figure that I saw was like 30,000. I don't know if it's actually that high.
Do we think that who have $1 million have to also raise money for breast reductions that they then don't return?
Apparently,
at
this
the
was
beginning,
earlier.
It was like at the beginning before she had $1 million. But don't you think, like, if I, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
her excuse for not getting it was she was supposed to go to Dr. Miami, and Dr. Miami just essentially didn't answer her at her appointment time.
Why would Dr. Miami be who she going through for a breast? Also, why, by the way, why would everybody need to raise all this money? Yeah, and help. She either has, if she doesn't have health insurance, you see how you
they so big, it's obvious that you need one. Yes.
And you would be surprised that they're like, my breasts are my breasts are not only huge, but my spine is sitting on the left side of my back. I literally have scoliosis. Mm-hmm. The shit is fucking curved like a country road, my chiropractor says, and it's bent forward from my breast. And they still be giving me the hardest of time for years or whatever on trying to pursue a reduction. So I can imagine, but Brenay breasts about 5 times my height. my size, and my breasts are much bigger.
And
I have massive boobs.
she doesn't look tall. She doesn't look
No,
like she
she looks my
has,
height.
she looks on the short size. And she, I'm so mad. Foreign called her summarized, and that is stuck with me. And
That's hilarious. He calls her some. That's so funny. I just talked to Foreign this morning. I gotta tell him. That's hilarious.
but but like she looks like a small person, and that's a lot of weight on
yeah,
just her front. So
yeah,
I'm sure it's not, I'm sure it's hard. So
yeah.
like, but as I understood it, she said I went to this one specific doctor and they weren't there. So and then I didn't want to get my nipple, I didn't want to do a nipple graft. So that
I
she,
like the reason. Those are things that horrify me too.
yeah, but she was like, if I want to breastfeed and stuff like that. And I was like,
I
but she
definitely want
also
that.
didn't give that explanation until 2 years of people saying, bitch, what happened to your breast reduction?
Just try
And
to ask
then,
people for money.
and then like, and then when she was like, well, what are you going to do with the money? Because we gave it to you to help you for this thing. So where did the
Right,
money go? She's
right.
like, if you got a problem with it, if you didn't pay, shut the fuck up. And if you got a problem with it, well, she don't curse. So if you got a problem with it, I'm not interested in hearing about that. And if you did pay some money, dispute it. You can't dispute some shit you paid 2 years ago on
Right,
for a donation. Like,
right.
what are you talking about? And so she was like, fuck off. And I remember seeing somebody on her live that was like, dude, I gave you $100. Like, I don't just have $100. I thought I was helping somebody. And she said, get
It's so
fucked.
crazy because the brick lady got convicted for fraud off that GoFundMe because it wasn't a brick. It was something else, but not that I'm trying to, incarcerate this young
Well, I'm
lady.
just saying, no, what I'm saying is, I'm surprised nobody tried to sue your ass off of that. But okay.
Right.
So, but that's the setup. That's the only like big quote unquote scandal she had. Damn, I really want Catfish. I'm sorry. It's like it's in the back. I can feel the cracker meal, like the corn meal
You
in the
said,
back
I
of my
need that.
because I had Friendsgiving, so I still got the sides. I could just okay. Anyway, so like, but yeah, she's thinking
You
she's
could
opening
order some
up.
catfish. You should order some catfish, is what I should say. You obviously want catfish. You deserve nice things, Kenny. Get yourself some catfish. He said that's all the cosign I needed.
I shall not eat on camera. I shall. But so she comes into her home and immediately kind of takes over, as she describes it. Like she messy. She messy in the house. She's walking around with no bra, which the things look heavy. Like I get why she's not walking around in a bra, but also she's walking around in short shorts, and
But you can't be in your friend house with a husband carrying on like that.
Especially if her husband is a cheater. And
Right.
so, and apparently she's sticking her tongue out, showing her piercings and stuff. And she's like, I just got a vibe. And she would not leave whenever Akira was like, I think she needs to go. She needs to go.
What do you mean would not leave?
Well, Tim would coerce her basically into saying like, no, she should stay. She needs us. Or Brenay was like, Tim wants me to stay. So what happened was Akira was getting so stressed that she was getting piercings. And her grandma and I think her mom saw her with the piercings and was like, what's going on? And then she broke down, said everything, like she basically taken over my house. So in comes grandma, who has her name on the I guess the deed or the lease of the house or whatever. And she like, well, technically this is my house. You need to get the fuck up. And she pushed grandma.
Brenay and Tim, they weren't beat within an inch of their lives. Because the way I would have...
You have now fucked in front of your husband enough for him to hear it. And pushed her grandma. Luckily, grandma was like, the only reason I didn't call the police is because I pushed you back and I knew I could take it. Don't let
I'd have
this.
beat her with a bat.
She had a
And
cane.
I wish I was joking or being hyperbolic, but I would have beat Brenay and Tim with a bat. Like,
She had a cane and she said, "Don't let this cane fool you. I'll wear you out."
you
And
see, that's
so
God wanted her to have that cane to beat that girl's ass. Like, if you've ever watched, I have a video on Illuminati pop called Five Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad, Super Raggedy Men. And this guy did it called Pablo the Psycho in that story. If you've watched it, if you know, you have to watch it. I can't even. But Pablo the Psycho called himself not leaving my house. And all I'm going to say is I got my paddle off the wall. That's all I'm going to say. Like, what do you mean you're not leaving
my house? And so the only reason she left though is because they was calling the police on her ass. Again, the deed owner is like, "Get the fuck out," and she's like, "I'm not leaving. Tim doesn't want me."
You refusing to leave this woman's house?
So Brenay and Tim left. Mind you, she don't know for a fact they're having an affair. Brenay and Tim leave. Eventually, when Tim come back, they're having issues because she's like, "Something's weird about you and Brenay." And he's like, "No, she was just a friend. I'm not attracted to her." You know, all that stuff that you like, she this, that, and the other, she whatever. And the only reason she found out is because she went on their computer to do her taxes. And that's when she found a bunch of videos of like her twerking on him. And like, there's a video where she's like confessing her love to him. Like, "I just want to give you the world. I can't wait until I'm Miss Montague. I can't wait until this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada."
And this is
describing his penis in great detail, in which she talks about the sex that they have, and it sounds like it's recent. You know, it's not in reference to, I guess, their past relationship.
Akira is a God-fearing woman because I'd have killed these people. Like, y'all would have heard me screaming wherever y'all was in the world. I'd have carried on so bad, it'd have been a monumental. I mean, I tell you how to walk on my fucking arm. Like, I'd have fucking spit. Candy, I'd have turned this place right the fuck. And this is what I say. This brings me right back to the beginning point. I hate when a bitch is so
bad
fucking morally bankrupt that I can't defend. I can't care.
I can't defend you.
I'm like the lawyer in me is like, I know this.
There's the rational part of my brain that sees issues in this case, and I still don't give a fuck. I'm happy they got you for every dime that you don't
you're a horrible
have.
person. You're a horrible person. And
like,
it's clear to me. Like, here's the gag. It's very obvious based on the fact that Tim was fucking this gal and he used to deal with a sister and all that and how she feels. It's obvious that for them, fuck how we feel. For Brenay, unfortunately, this man is the man to her. Like, you know, the nigga that you believe, like, you love so much, you think is.
So, upon me doing my own video, because the information is scattered all over the place. And because of that, it's kind of vague where in the timeline certain things happen, and so some people would have heard of this part but maybe not of this part, and blah blah blah. So as I understand it from, again, people who were, well, no, this is when I was actually following it, because I remember there was a point where it was going around that Brenay wants Devin back, and putting 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 together, I think what had happened was Brenay had overheard Tim talking to her sister about how if she loses this case, they are over. And how he wants to, like, he's reached out to
his own case.
No,
if end up losing his own case, one leave her if she lose her case.
Well, that as I understand it, that case was on pause in general.
Like, that money is gonna start rolling out that this bitch done been convicted.
She ain't got no money. Exactly, because part of the way that they claim that she seduced him was financially. Of course, she's like, "I'll pay for your divorce. I'll co-sign an apartment for you so you can move out of your house with your wife. I'll do XYZ financially. I'll give you the world. I'll buy you whatever you want." And so when this supposedly came out. Brenay heard about it, and so she started reaching out to Devin. Supposedly, allegedly. And Devin would come online like, it's crazy how people want you back when, the grass ain't as green as they thought it was, and yada, yada, yada. And I think she also found out about him still having sex with her sister. But in order to save face, and also they are doing this, it's still an ongoing lawsuit. They just revved it up. They were like, we're so in love. We're so unbothered by everything that y'all say. Fuck y'all, get fucked. This is the dance. We're learning TikTok dances while y'all over there talking shit about while y'all talking shit about us. And again, lawyerless behavior. And so they and then we come to the actual case where again she is lawyerless, defending the man, my man, the one. But after I guess Devin said, I'm not interested in you and your problems, y'all can have each other, fuck off, they would get engaged in a cemetery. I do not know the circumstances for that, but I don't know, bitch, I don't know. I do not know why they got engaged in but they got engaged in a cemetery, again, prior to the case. So again, not making yourself look great. And then got married on September 11th, 2025. The case was November 7th, I believe, when it started. So again, Akira was also able to get, in fairness, before Akira did her lawsuit, as I understand it, she actually was arrested because Brenay had gotten litigious herself and called the police on her because Akira had threatened to kill her. And I wonder why. I wonder what she could have done that would have made Akira say, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to kill you, bitch. And she's like, oh my gosh, she's threatening me. So she called the police. She goes to jail overnight and they let her out.
Akira goes to jail overnight? You know what?
Yep.
Just go ahead and put every nuanced thing I've had to say for Brenay or about the law or legally or anything. Just go ahead and rest it in the garbage. She deserved. You know what? Akira deserves all that money. Go ahead. Yeah. You know what? On second thought, again, my issue really just be them trying to say is how it's that fault that marriage fell apart, not this gal fault. But this is an evil gal. Like it should be legally actionable to sue a bitch for being a dirty trifling bitch who did you dirty. I'll accept that she deserves $1.75 million for that reason and that reason.
Give me 3 seconds.
I went to jail overnight because you fucking with my husband. Oh no, that right there. Okay,
yes, ma'am. That was the circumstance as I understand it. And then she said, okay, bitch. Mind you, Akira is the only financial breadwinner of that family because she was supporting him through.
That's another reason that to me prevents lower, that I think is a bad argument for Akira in terms of the damages being so high. Because it's the loss of this.
Mm-hmm.
Loss of this.
As I understand it, she isn't currently the only breadwinner. But upon the early parts of their relationship, he was going to college to be a football player in the NFL at some point, and that apparently fell through.
A good lawyer, if Renee got a good lawyer would have said it was to advantage to have this broke ass cheating trifling nigga out the house.
Mm-hmm. But alas. Bitch didn't want to get a fucking lawyer. That's some wild
shit. This nigga?
I don't know. Because if you see him, it is a regular light-skinned man. He got a fat ass,
bad hairline. To me, he looks like this is what I will say to give her sister some lie. The only thing I'm gonna hold out because I can't understand a world in which you and your sister are fucking with the same. And y'all are friends, and y'all got married. You have kids. She has kids for him, and y'all are. You and him are married, and your mummy is pro you in this. That's the part that makes me.
She swear. Well, that's another thing that's really weird about it, because Tim's family was also harassing Akira. Basically, as I'm still kind of confused about what their whole thing was, but basically they blame her for everything because of how she reacted to it, because she got very, very depressed. And they were like, she was so depressed, she was talking about killing herself. Why would we let her have the kids still? She could have hurt the kids. And I'm like, what's not clicking? What is not clicking?
Oh, Tim family need their ass beat too.
Well, I that's the only way you end up. Well, I guess that's not the only way, but
everybody need their ass beat.
But often
there should have been a brawl in the parking lot. They should have been ready to fight.
Well, they kept trying to fight. Apparently, they was almost fighting in the courtroom.
That's what we need. That's what I like to see. That's only right.
I think it was Akira's aunt and somebody's mom, and then Tim got arrested during court.
I did try to bring a gun into the court.
He tried to bring a gun into the court.
I was like, what you was going to do? Shoot your baby mother? Like, what was the plan here?
Well, Devin was also there. He testified.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my God.
Devin testified. Akira testified. Both of which Brenay would have had to cross-examine. Which brings me to the actual case, because again, we don't know exactly what happened.
She was cross-examining, then Devin, she was like, alleged, and he was like, no, I was there, I seen it, I heard you, not alleged, I seen it,
That's not how that works, bitch.
Right, we're in court. No,
we're
not
literally
alleged.
in court. I am putting this under oath. This is what I heard. So in the actual courtroom, God, what I would give for some full coverage of that shit, man. But from what I hear, there were certain moments that really, well, one juror asked to be let go. She was like, I can't be impartial. She has disgusted me so much that I know that I will not be able to just do this off the facts. She is repulsive. I hate her. And I was
that's another thing. Court has a lot. People do not get that court has a lot to do how court goes for you on how everybody in the court feels about you, like how they like you. That's the reason why we say certain you can't testify. They won't like you. So Brenay's the kind of person you would tell her don't testify because she's so unlikable. So the fact that she came into court as the attorney where everybody's there was no shot in hell.
She has to interact with the person that is claiming that you cheated with her husband.
Your cross-examination in and of itself is something that doesn't make you look nice and pleasant. It's a cross.
That's the whole point.
So imagine you're the person being accused of doing this trifling shit. There's ample evidence, and you're the one rude cross-examining your ex-husband you cheated on, your fucking his ex-wife y'all had an affair on. Like, you look terrible, stupid.
They said she was laughing when they were presenting evidence of the, like, I want to be Miss Montague. I want to be XYZ for you. And she's just sitting there like, haha, okay. Apparently, there was a point in which they had brought up the miscarriage. And timeline-wise, that she didn't, as I understand it, Akira didn't know she was pregnant, but she had the miscarriage. She would find out she had the miscarriage in December.
Oh, wow.
I believe around that time, in maybe October-ish, October, November was when Brenay was at the house. So, that was their way of proving that they were still intimate, her and her husband. So for a loveless marriage, which doesn't say a whole lot. There's plenty of loveless people who are having sex with their partners, like,
right.
But they were able to build, like, he was doing things for her. He would write her love notes and yada yada yada. They had moved past the yada yada. But
Tim is such a piece of shit, and I'm just so confused as to like why that is her dream man. Because the other thing I was going to say earlier about him, to me trying to hold out Bly for the twin, is that's a very generic look. Like, I know a bunch of different variations of that look like that. So I'm not going to put it out of the realm of possibility that the twin sister could have a baby daddy that's generically enough looking, like that this baby could look like his. I'll give her that.
I disagree. I disagree.
My brain cannot will not allow itself to believe that
that's his nose. So unless she also fucking his brother, that is
Couldn't she
which
be? Look at these people.
perhaps I don't know what siblings he has. I know he has a
They
sister.
remind me of all these people. The reason why I'm a hold out hope for something ridiculous, right? Is first of all, not only has everything thus far as the most insane shit. The shit we know is salacious and crazy and out there. The fact that Brenay, think about this story. When you first told me this, the fact alone that Brenay has a twin sister, like an evil, like, is this a Tyler Perry play that she has a twin sister that's also fucking him and shit? That's insane. Like that, those are insane facts. And I'll tell you why I think so. The first, I represented a girl like once that reminds me of Brenay. Like, didn't look like her or anything, just in her
Personality.
self. She had when I arraigned her, she had a bunch of cases. Like, it wasn't like one case I was arraigning on her. She had like 4 cases, and they were every case was on individual members of her baby daddy's family. It was like one case was like his mummy was the victim. Another case was his like sister was the victim. Another case was like his auntie was the victim. And I remember she starts telling me like this whole long story about like how they're setting her up and they hate her and they're doing this and yada yada yada. And I remember being like, let's be so in my brain, like I roll, like, let's be so fucking for real, bitch. This is 4 cases, da da da. Why would his family be? Bitch, by the time I'm gonna get, it's like this Tyler Perry movie they have me in, like, oh, they do really hate you, and they are really set up. You are horrible too, but they're horrible as well, and everything's horrible. And I remember me and the prosecutor at different times when the person's so horrible, the prosecutors is like, their family's horrible too. Like the complaints are horrible. Let's just let this case go away. Let's just turn around and let it time out because it's awful.
Everybody needs to just stand there and get in the We're Friends shirt and shut the fuck up, because obviously y'all are all terrible people. But so in regards to the miscarriage, it comes up, Brenay is crossing. And she says, something along the lines of, the miscarriage, that was hard for you, wasn't it? And then the judge first of all, people gasped. Because, bitch, what? And the judge admonished her and was like, don't do that. What the fuck was that? Like, why? Because it was in this, like, I bet it hurt for you. Was that hard? I bet it was hard. We're just asking for facts. We're asking for what happened. So they gasped at that. And apparently, and in closing arguments, she said a lot of the things that she said in the beginning. But one line that also caused the courtroom to gasp was when she said Akira only had a problem with it when her spot was taken, which almost seems like you don't know what the case is about, because that is primarily what they are claiming you did, was take by machination, by coercion or whatever, through financial influence. You took her husband. But there's a lot to be said about like Brenay's, hyperfixation. She also got a cyber stalking charge before the main case. I forgot about that. Which I hear is hard to do.
Why is she doing all this behind this? And I can't understand, like, and why
did Akira had with the restraining orders and everything, she's still talking about her and the children. She's still having the children, like, their voices or whatever. And also there was just a lot of like little things that Brenay was doing to like psychologically fuck with this person. Like, Akira said she wanted a car to drive around. It was a very specific Kia car that would be good for their kids. And Brenay gets it.
When she don't got no kids.
She got his kids. Those her kids. Those her babies. She had them calling her mom.
I wouldn't, honestly, I'm surprised. Is Akira why is she not pursuing taking his rights away? Like, because I wouldn't have him seem like this would be done. He's not a father to these kids. Like, this isn't happening. I would 1000% pursue.
I don't know if she ever, I don't know how that works as far as like with him.
She did
a protection. I hope she does, because
she should take his rights. Can't be around our children. Look at this shit.
There was also the most heinous part, and it's the part that I kind of block out. Apparently, post coitus, Brenay and Tim, they would call one of the kids in there to hand her a wipe.
Yes. I'd kill this bitch. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I say, put all my nuance in the trash. Because Brenay just is terrible. Like, she's terrible.
I don't know.
They're terrible. Let me not say Brenay. They're terrible. Brenay and Tim are horrible.
They're both
people.
terrible. But the difference is Brenay is making it our problem. Brenay is the one that's telling everybody. Brenay is the one that's like fighting online day in and day out.
And my thing is why? It's like, girl, why are you doing this?
I don't know.
What do you stand to gain? You've
gained it
a lot.
You've gained him for the 3 seconds that you'll have him, because that nigga ain't staying.
I cannot understand how another woman has like.
I forgot. On the way out, as she was getting interviewed, she said they were like, "How do you plan on paying?"
They ain't gonna get that money.
She was like, "I don't know." She was like, "They probably ain't gonna get it though," and I was like, okay, they gonna garnish the fuck out of your shit for the rest of your life.
I would leave the country. Like, if I were her, like, I would go back to the, like, she's not from the Bahamas, so she can't go back, but I would go back to the Bahamas. So, like, I would 1000% flee.
Yeah.
Like, I'm lucky. It's a good thing I don't live a life of crime, because I assure you, if I got arrested, they can't grant me bail. I'm 1000% a flight risk. Come out of here. I'm fucking gone, baby.
Y'all will not find me. Absolutely.
Garnish
not.
my wages. Good luck finding me in one of the 700 islands and keys in the Bahamas. Because I'm not going back to my island either. You thought. Like, I'm going back to an
Don't nobody know
island.
my ass here.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So Tim and Akira are egregious in such a way that I don't want to even defend the other shit. Well, it's not that I can't defend it, but it's like,
it's that I don't care to. It's like it creates the like. It's like, well, you're kind of awful. So if it was gonna be somebody, I guess it should be you.
If anybody's gonna get the, I can't wait for you to see.
I'm like, it's them talking about her breast at the beginning, and I'd be like, oh my god, y'all stop it. It bothers me every time they do it. I gotta like, it's like, because it's like they prevented me from enjoying the tea. It's like every time I try to click on like somebody's like YouTube video, like giving me all the tea, they're like unnecessarily like slandering her breasts or her looks, and it just feels like I'm like, again, my boobs and myself don't look like Brenay, but I feel like it's a spectrum. I feel like
I feel like I'm being talked about as well.
I do. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Because also it's just not, outside of the breast reduction scam, it seems to be like the thing that they know they can bash her on is her weight, and it's because it seems to be something that's kind of
because to me, I feel like if the roles were reversed, like if Brenay didn't look the way Brenay looks, if the roles were reversed, would the commentary be like the way it is? Would it even be as salacious and exciting? Like, I don't think so. I think like people like the contrast between Akira looking like what you like. Think, oh, like
a Christian,
beautiful,
good
classic
girl,
beauty, light skin woman with her real hair, perm, like with a nice wrap and respectable, and you know what I mean. That's what it feels like to me.
Versus darker skin with the duck nails and the 25 millimeters, and nobody, and the like.
Exactly. That's
but
exactly.
But because you're so awful,
horrible, we can't even say nothing for you.
I don't care to even defend you. You're an asshole.
It's like, why would you do this? Why have you made this so hard on my life?
But with that said, I with the closing of this chapter, she has officially lost the 1.75 mil. She's married to Tim, supposedly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
that's so crazy.
I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I highly doubt they make it 3 years.
You know how much resentment have to be in that house? Like every time he opened his mouth to me, like you imagine you 1.75. Imagine trying to love your boyfriend through a $1.75 million loss.
Because of a thing that he did.
He did, yes.
With you.
Yes.
Well, how can you be resentful, bitch? You did it and you didn't bring a lawyer. You dumb as fuck. The final thought, the final straw for me was the no lawyer. I was like, you dumb as hell. You dumb as fuck. I ain't never heard of no motherfucker going into $1.75 million with no lawyer, bitch. What do you mean? And like, if you got enough money, like she constantly,
she didn't take it seriously. She just didn't. I also she don't have the money. I think she couldn't afford it. I honestly, this is the thing. I don't know why she was bragging to people, trying to make people think she was a millionaire, but visibility is not money. Followers is not money. A lot of niggas,
especially on TikTok. Especially on TikTok, the amount of people,
no money.
I don't really have, like, I have a TikTok, but I don't go on there ever, because I'm more of a consumer on TikTok than I am a participator.
Yeah.
Same with Instagram at this point, kind of.
Yeah.
My friend Cheyenne got me. She was like, you come on here, make your money, and leave. And I was like, and do. Like, it's always something that made me mad on Instagram. But regardless, I've had so many creators that I end up meeting who are primarily on TikTok, and they're telling me how they're trying to transition over to YouTube because there is no money in it.
There's no money.
They get all the downsides of being very visible, but none of the benefit. I'm
telling you,
odds are not making nearly as much.
And then people hate you because they think the people who are consuming. I consider TikTok, like, to me, where normies appear famous, like normies, like that's what it is. Like Brenay is a norm, yeah. Yes, appear famous, and because they're in a circle with like other normies, like where the bar to entry is so low, and it's all these people that are watching them that can make videos. Like the comment section is the app, like making videos and yada yada yada. What happens is it's like these normal people looking at because they're all normies. Like even the ones with the big following, they're normies looking at other normies with a huge following and thinking they're rich, like having a lot of animosity and blah blah blah. And and the next thing you know, look at this, and I'm
the only people making money on TikTok, as I understand it, are the people that do a lot of the lives that people can donate to. And I don't know how you incentivize somebody to donate in that context, but some people are able to, get it racking up.
All I know is, I know she was shocked to find out the cost. So lawyers are, one thing I said is, as a lawyer, I remember like, when I was a public defender, looking at like who qualified for a public defender and realizing you had to quite literally earn, like damn near zero money. And I was like, that's crazy because I wouldn't qualify for my services. Like, and I can't afford me. Like, I can't afford a lawyer. Like, I'm like, I can now in this point in my life, but like generally, and even actually, let me don't even say that. No, a lawyer run you broke immediately. By the time you get a lawyer, but they charge you crazy things, hour, this, yada, yada, yada. Our lawyers will break the bank. But Akira Ma was a lawyer. Akira was good. The whole team was behind that. Brenay, I'm like, oh, girl, for what? For this man?
Do stupid shit. Play stupid games.
Some trifling 12 babies and thing already?
Possibly with your sister. I know she keeps ignoring that. Hey, and as I understand, she don't really bring the kids near. Or some people were like, when he's near the niece and nephew or whatever, he's like oddly close to them. And I'm like, okay. But alas.
It's good tea.
It is good tea. And speaking of which, not me doing.
You gotta go look into the Danish deception after this.
I need you to look into the Danish deception.
I will. I'm gonna walk downstairs to go eat my breakfast with my sister.
I would like to warn you about none of it. People say to skip the first one. I argue don't.
I won't skip. I'll watch it
because I came back to the first episode and I would have had more inkling if I would have listened to the first one.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna listen to the whole thing. I'm going from here down the stairs.
She says one thing that I have seen nobody rip apart yet, but also I'm trying to avoid too many people's opinions about it.
Because you don't want it to influence your own video,
right? And then, she says one thing in the first part that gave me pause in regards to like the virality or the importance or the visibility that comes from making, a multi-part series. Oh, fuck it. I'll tell you anyway. Because I'm leaning on it, I might as well say it. In the first part, she does the thing as she's setting up the story. Again, Nigerian American girl in Dallas who was married to a Danish man that she met while on vacation to Croatia. she was on vacation somewhere and met him. That's all you need to know. She says, as she is about to talk about the story, she prefaces it by saying, like, if you're a fan of Who the Fuck Did I Marry or those type stories,
girl, you're trying to.
She says, this one is worse. This is like way worse.
Worse?
It is not.
Is it really worse?
It is not. If anything, it's stupider. It is dumber. It's dumb as fuck.
Right.
But it is not, it's not like, because the woman who did Who the Fuck Did I Marry was
Legion was
Legion
bad.
was bad.
Yeah.
And this man is bad too. He ain't Legion bad. And also, she makes it very hard to be fully on her side.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
She makes it very difficult to not say, what? Huh? And I'm not trying to victim blame. But I will ask questions. I do have questions that are not getting answered enough for me. And I had inklings early on, and I didn't want to assume my inklings were right, but I have now found out they are indeed correct. So I'll let you play around with that.
I'm going to go play that the second we get off here. I'm going to walk downstairs. That's what I'm going to be doing while I eat my breakfast.
Feel free to live text me, because I am curious.
Will do. Can do, sis. Can do.
Because again, maybe I'm crazy. But I don't think I am. I think everybody's going to reach I think most Black women will reach the same conclusion pretty quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna go. That's good tea. I'm gonna play it for CJ too, because he loves these stuff. I got him. He deeply in Brenay and Tim.
Okay, so we have a new TikTok thing. It's like a new one every week, so we'll probably find one by the time we get here.
TikTok loves so much drama and foolishness, and I just like to know about it.
And this is where they're gonna bully us to just make a podcast. But
listen, they'd be so hype.
This is not me. We'll talk.
This is not us committing to that.
This is not us committing to that. We just have things that we see are interesting. But
they'll be so hype. And look, now that we said it, they're gonna be like, oh, and we're gonna be like, oh my god, it's the pressure of now you want to.
Now I feel visible. I think y'all put too much work on it. Just let the vibes. Let the vibes vibe. I'll be here regularly.
Stop what you're doing and listen up. You just watched a video on one of my channels, but the Illuminativerse is huge, and I want to tell you what everything is and how to find it. The Illuminativerse has 6 channels. On the YouTube homepage of any one of those channels, every single channel in the Illuminativerse is featured at the bottom of the page, so you can always easily find them. Okay, remember I said that. Don't say I ain't tell you how to find it. Subscribe to my main channel, Illuminati, to find my Illuminati productions, which are my long form video essays and also all of my backlog of content. Subscribe to my second love child, Illuminati Pop, for my weekly video essays analyzing my favorite TV and movie shows and characters. Illuminati Pop also has its own Patreon where you get all of those videos uncensored. Subscribe to my channel, Olay and Friends, for my podcast, Olay and Friends. New episodes of Olay and Friends come out every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe to Olay and Chill for new episodes of my podcast, Olay and Chill, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And also, both Olay and Friends and Olay and Chill are both available on streaming platforms like Spotify. Subscribe to Illuminati Bites if you want my takes, but you don't have an hour to spend. Subscribe to Illuminati Politics for my political analysis and my State of the Union type addresses on my show O Squared. And last but not least, subscribe to my Substack Illuminati for my written work.